I learned this story, Blowing the Shofar for the Baal Shem Tov, from Rabbi Alan Liu's book. This is real and you are completely unprepared. The Days of Awe as a Journey of Transformation. I also want to tell you about my own experience of being unprepared and how that experience created a transformation for me. So here are the two stories intertwined in the telling as they are in my heart. Every year, before the Days of Awe, the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidic Judaism, held a competition to see who would blow the shofar for him on Rosh Hashanah. Now, if you wanted to blow the shofar for the Baal Shem Tov, not only did you have to blow the shofar like a virtuoso, but you also had to learn an elaborate system of kavanot, secret prayers of intention, that were said just before you blew the shofar to direct the shofar blasts and ensure that they had the proper effect. All the prospective shofar blowers practiced these kavanot for months. They were difficult and complex. There was one fellow who wanted to blow the shofar for the Baal Shem Tov so badly that he had been practicing these kavanot for years. Now, after years of being on the margins of the community, Gary and I had recently become active in TBH about 16 years ago. We were a little surprised when we were asked to do an English reading on Yom Kippur. We received a copy of it in the mail ahead of time and prepared, reading it out loud, dividing the parts between us, and approaching it with intention. We took this very seriously. This would be our first time standing on the bima during the holidays, and we wanted to get it right. On Yom Kippur morning, we arrived for services, and I tried to focus, be present, and enter fully into the service. When the Hasid went to his shofar audition before the Baal Shem, he realized that nothing he had done had prepared him adequately for the experience of standing before this great and holy man. His mind froze completely. He couldn't remember one of the kavanot he had practiced for all those years. He couldn't even remember what he was supposed to be doing at all. He just stood before the Baal Shem Tov in utter silence. And then, when he realized how egregiously, how utterly he had failed this great test, his heart just broke in two, and he began to weep, sobbing loudly, his shoulders heaving and his whole body racking as he wept. Back at TBH, our assigned reading was coming up. But when it was time to read it, instead of calling us up to the bima, Rabbi Seth asked everyone to read together. I completely lost my focus. I descended into disappointment. I reflected on my reaction. Why was this such a discouraging experience? Was it pride? A need for recognition? I realized that it was important for me to be seen in front of the congregation. But why? And then I realized how long I had felt an outsider in this community. It had been a very long journey to find my home here. Being asked to do a reading was an honor and a statement that I belong here. I struggled some more. Then I realized that I had done the reading. I had done it with my community instead of in front of it. It took me a while to settle into humility, to let go and regain my focus, my kavanah. I brought my attention back to the service. In the meantime, the Hasid was still sobbing in front of the Baal Shem Tov. "All right, you're hired," the Baal Shem said. But I don't understand," the man said. "I failed the test completely. I couldn't even remember one kavanah." So the Baal Shem Tov explained. The ascending spiritual realms that bring us closer and closer to the divine can be accessed slowly with proper kavanah. But a broken heart brings us directly into the presence of the divine. Near the end of the TBH service, the rabbi called us up to do a reading. I was caught totally off guard. I had no idea what we were supposed to read. I looked at the rabbi with surprise, and he called out the page number. Gary and I went up to the bima, and sight unseen, we read the piece. We were totally unprepared. I stood humbly in front of my congregation. Not only did I receive my own lesson that day about humility and belonging, I also received a lesson of Yom Kippur, that we can never be prepared. We don't know what life will bring. We can only stand together with our hearts broken open, and that will be enough. So may we be together in new ways at this time of physical distancing. May we feel each other's hearts opening as we find our way through a greater awareness that we really don't know what the future will bring. And may each of us find a place of peace within that mystery.